Hello, and welcome to the Jocelyn Moore Show. I'm your host, Jocelyn Moore, and as always, we're here to inform, inspire, and entertain with dynamic conversations that matter. Today, we're going to dive into a discussion about children's authors and educators who are both critical in shaping young minds. We'll be talking about the importance of their work and how they inspire the next generation of readers. Get ready, kids. We have a real treat for you today. Our guest is Portia, Clare, educator and award-winning author of children's books. She's a magical storyteller who knows exactly how to make learning fun, and Portia is here to tell us all about them.
Well, thank you, Jocelyn. I am so grateful for having the opportunity to be a part of your podcast today. My name is Portia Y. Clare, and I am an educator and a children's book author. I have been teaching for over 30 years now, mostly in elementary education, and I have become a children's book author in recent years. My desire is to write books for children that will help them to recognize their quality, appreciate their value, and navigate through difficult and challenging life experiences.
Well, let's start with some fun questions, all right?
All right.
If you could have any fictional character come to life and be your best friend, who would that be and why?
That character would be Grover from Sesame Street. Grover from Sesame Street was my best friend on television as a child. He was always comforting and welcoming to me. And I enjoyed just hearing him say, "Hello there, this is your furry little pal Grover." He made me feel like a friend, and that we could really spend quality time together, and I'd be safe with him.
If you could have any cartoon character visit your class, who would it be and why?
It would be Snoopy from the
Woohoo!
Peanuts. I
Mm-hmm.
love Snoopy. Snoopy was intelligent, he was friendly, he was funny, he was whimsical, and I know my students would enjoy him because he's a dog. I have a dog now, and my students love for me to share pictures of him and stories about him. So I know that they would enjoy Snoopy.
What's the funniest excuse a student has ever given you for not doing their homework?
Well, I don't know if you would consider it funny, but the student said, "I didn't have time last night to do my homework. There was just so much else to be done." I thought, wow, 8-year-olds have a whole lot to do, and homework is not an opportunity, something to be finished. I said, "Okay, I understand."
Sound like an adult, huh?
Right.
Now I'm eager to learn about your books. Could you begin by sharing the titles and give us a brief description of each?
I certainly can. I can even share them with you while I'm doing that.
Okay.
My first children's book is called Best Friends Forever, A Puppy's Tale. And this is a story of love, loss, and everlasting friendship. It's an excellent story to teach children about grief and losing a pet and then finding the courage to love again. My second book is called His Name is My Daddy. And this is a story about my relationship with my daddy as I grew up with a child and how his hands were used to help me throughout his life. It's an inspiring story, and I think it's one that will be encouraging to many readers. My third book is called Life is More Than This Covington Pond, and it is a book that inspires children to dream and wonder, and particularly dream with your eyes wide open, imagining all the possibilities and realizing that, yes, you can do the things that you dream about as a child.
Oh, that's great. And what motivated you to write these stories, and what was your inspiration?
Well, my inspiration for writing really is my daddy. I had a conversation with him, and he actually brought it up. He said, "Scoop, you've talked about writing your children's books. Have you begun to do any writing yet?" And I said, "No, Daddy, I haven't written anything, but I have several thoughts in my mind." And he said, "Scoop, do it now. Now is the acceptable time. Today is the day of salvation. Begin to write down what you have in your mind, because I'm sure that what you have in your mind will help children and families around the world." And so I began to write each of my books. And each of the books is really based on one of the three people in my family. The first story is mine. It is a story of my puppy and me. and our experience together. The second story, of course, is about my father and my life and his growing up, along with my mommy. And the third story is actually my mother's story. She lived on Covington Pond, and her father continually shared with her that life is bigger than the place in which you live, my dear. And he wanted her to understand that and dream. And all of the things that she wanted to do, he wanted her to realize it was possible.
Now, I read your first book, and when you wrote it, to bring up a lot of memories. Was sad memory. I know you have sad memories, you have happy memories,
Yes, indeed.
both of those. Oh,
Yeah,
what I love, what I love about your books, the cover of your books, where the kids can relate. You
absolutely.
know,
That's
they
one of the
can
things that I really
separate
wanted to
the
make sure
color.
that I did, to
Mm-hmm.
make books for
Mm.
children who look like me, so that
That's
they could
right.
see themselves in a book and in
Mm.
realistic ways.
That's absolutely because when I
Yeah.
was growing up, I'm going to tell my age. I grew up in the era of Dick and Jane.
Me too.
See, spot, run. Run,
Right? Run,
spot,
Spot, run.
run,
Catch the
run,
ball.
run, run. That was it. I tell you, I knew the words because the words repeated themselves over
Right.
and over and over again. But
Yeah.
back then, the books were only, of a different color,
Right.
different
Right.
color. But now I am so happy that it's different now.
Yes, we're seeing brown children and black children in our books. And that helps our children. The majority of my students are African American. And so it is encouraging for them to see characters who look like them in the books that they read. They really enjoy that.
Because they can relate.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
someone looks like me. Someone looks like me. I'm so excited, right?
Right. And the beauty
Okay.
of it is all children can relate to the stories, but it is just an advantage for the children of color to see people in the books that look like them. So you're reaching everyone, but you're particularly emphasizing how the people in the book look so that the children who look like the people in the book can really immerse themselves and realize this could be me.
Exactly. It's exactly what I meant. Exactly. Okay. Let's explore the link between your teaching and writing. How does your experience teaching children who struggled with reading translate into writing clearer and more engaging stories?
For students whom I teach, it's exciting to have a teacher who has written a book. And I think it motivates them to want to read the teacher's book because of the relationship that I have with the students. I think relationships are everything. Um, and I believe that being able to share something that I have written with them inspires them, especially if it's talking about something that they can relate to. All children dream, and they imagine themselves doing and being something. All children love, and if they have not experienced loss, they will. So having a book that helps a parent to walk a child through that is helpful. Every child has a daddy, whether or not he or she knows that father. And if you don't have a father, my hope is that there would be a male in the child's life who has used his hands, as my father did, to be helpful in so many ways. So I think that the subject matter is relatable. It's something that you talk about in class with children. You talk about loss. You talk about hands being used to help and not hinder. You talk about dreams and wondering and what it is that you want to do and be when you grow up in class. So, because of that relatability, I think it helps the children to inspire and be encouraged to desire to read.
Have any students said, Miss Clare, I want to write a book. Can you help me? I want to write a book.
Absolutely. I have had many to do that. And we may do that as a class. I typically write class books that we get published through a company called Student Treasures, where each child will be able to write a page and an illustration that goes with that page. And all of them will have a class book that they can take and have forever. They are inspired to do that. And some have shared some writings with me that they have already begun. And that's exciting to me.
Really? I've met, I think, I don't know, they're twins. I met two young people, maybe 8 years old. They wrote their book, their first, no, I think their second book.
Wonderful.
So young,
That's
so
right.
young, you
And that's what
know.
we want children to understand. There is not an age limit on the things that you desire to do. They can be 8 years old and entrepreneurs. I mean, the sky is the limit now. There's nothing that limits them from doing that which has been placed on their hearts to do. And prayerfully, they have parents or someone in their family who support them and allow those ideas to blossom so that they can actually experiment and experience doing what they desire to do, even at 8 years old.
Now, how do you decide what age group to write for, and how do you make sure the books are fun and educational at the same time?
I think I've typically written books for children between the ages of 4 and 10, because that's basically the age group that I have taught. And so it's easy for me to do that. The subject matter comes based on experiences that I have had. And I believe that the next book set that I am writing is something I really like to encourage. I think that's something that I've been put on the earth to do. And I want to use my books to encourage children, to help them, to serve them, to help them to see that life can be better, that they have value, that they are seen, and that their dreams matter. It is important for me that that comes across in whatever it is that I am writing. But I started with what was familiar and experiences that I have had. And I branched off or am branching off into writing something now for boys because all of the characters in my book currently are girls. But the children's book series that I'm working on now, a boy is the main character. And my determination is to encourage and to let these boys recognize their quality and appreciate their value. I think that will probably be in all of my books. That's what drives me on the inside as a teacher. You have value. You're special. You have gifts, talents, and abilities. They are to be developed and used so that when you grow up, you'll be in position to help and be of greater usefulness and service to your family, to your community, and to people around the world. So that's probably the underlying current in all that I write.
I love what you do, you know.
Thank you.
I wish we had more people like that in the world. And teachers are not paid enough. You know,
Well,
teachers sometimes are not given the respect that they should, be
have
given.
changed over the years, that's
Right.
for sure.
And also, what I love about you, you starting the kids young. You're elementary school teacher, right?
Yes,
And you're
yes,
starting young. You have to start young.
absolutely. They're sponges when they're young. They're just
Mm-hmm.
they take it all in. So to me, it's exciting. Just keep pouring it in, pouring it in, pouring it in, and they get
Mm-hmm.
exposed to so many things at a young age, and it gives them options. And I think options are excellent for people to have.
What are some fun and easy ways parents can encourage their children to read more?
Well, the first thing that I can think of is having a special time of reading in the family, whether it be bedtime, whether it be on Fridays, we're going to the library and we're getting books, whether it be some kind of a fun activity that's based around stories that maybe can attach to field trips that the parents do because it's something that we read about. Ideally, the parents would know what children are interested in, what characters they love, what events and activities they love, and they would be able to find books that talk about those things. And so that's going to pique a child's interest because they get to pick the topic. And we're finding books about those things. We're reading books about those things. And if we can attach going to a place or having a field trip that allows me to do what was done in the book,
Oh,
that
that would
makes
be
it even better.
great.
Absolutely. And then, of course, sometimes there are movies that are made about books as well. So walking through the experience of reading the book and then seeing the movie, then making the comparison, and then perhaps adding a field trip to that. Those are simple ways, and hopefully some of the things that you do can be free, not have to cost a lot. Obviously, going to the library is a free experience. And
Right.
then there are some read alouds on YouTube that parents can expose their children to as well. So if you can't get the book, they may be able to get it on YouTube or maybe Kindle or something like that. So those are a
Yeah.
few things that might make it easy and exciting to encourage reading.
YouTube has a lot. There's a lot
Indeed,
on
it does.
YouTube that you can use. What's the moment that make you think, this is why I teach?
Aha moment. It never grows old. The moment a child gets the moment they understand the concept that you're teaching, that's why I'm here. Thank you, Lord. That's it. It never grows old. I get it. I get it. And then they could do it by themselves, and then they can teach someone else. And to see that process is exciting because you literally can see it in a school year. Something is foreign to me. I don't understand it. I'm trying. I'm trying. Eventually, I get it, and then I know it so well that now I can explain it and express it to someone else, and they understand because I taught it. That it never grows old.
How does it make you feel when you see your student smiling at you because they are so happy?
I it makes me feel good because my responsibility to their parents is to provide a safe environment for them, a place where they feel comfortable being themselves. And to know that they are relaxed to that point matters. It means they're now in the best position to learn and to grow, not only academically, but in character because they're comfortable. And that matters because it's all about relationships. Relationships are everything in every aspect of life, whether you're talking about children or adults. We all want to feel safe. We all want to feel welcomed. We all want to feel seen. And so for me, when a child is smiling genuinely from the heart, it helps me to know that that child feels welcome, that child feels safe, that child feels seen and valued. And that's what matters.
From your experience, what are the most common reading difficulties you see in your students?
Decoding is a common reading difficulty. Being able to decipher what the letters and their sounds mean together, that seems to be more of a concern than the comprehension itself. I've noticed that when I read something to children and we discuss it, the comprehension is strong, but having them to read words that are multisyllable, words that are multi-meaning, presents a challenge to them. So the phonetics of reading, um, the phonemic awareness of reading is the biggest challenge that I have seen with students. And that challenge has come to third grade, which is the grade that I'm currently teaching, um, for several years for many of my students. So it's something that we want to get a hold of in earlier grades so that they will have more success in reading their current grade level um, materials. But that is the answer. It's phonics and phonemic awareness decoding. That seems to be the biggest challenge.
What age do kids start learning how to read?
3 years old, because it starts with the alphabet. Once you know what the letter is and then you know what the sound is, all reading is putting those sounds together. That's it. Once you teach me the letter and you tell me that the letter makes this sound, now I'm blending. I'm putting this sound together with that sound together with that sound to make a word. Then I understand that that word is related to this symbol or that object or that thing. So as soon as I begin to learn the alphabet, I have begun to read, and that's 3. Might be 2. Some people are at 2, 3 and 4 for sure.
No, in the stores you see, the index cards with the words and the pictures on the back. You think that's very good, very helpful?
Oh, absolutely. My mother was a pre-K teacher for many years, and she everything was labeled in her room because they need to understand what these symbols are. these letters that have sounds put together by themselves mean nothing. But if you attach them to what that thing is, it brings it to life. This is a ball. This is a cat. This is a door. This is a camera. This is a phone. This is a chair. This is a carpet. Ah, now I'm understanding what these things are. And now I'm seeing them on the pages of a book. If it is a carpet there, it's a carpet in the book too. If it says BALL on this ball, it says BALL in the book. It's the same thing.
What are some of your favorite activities to do with your students that involve books? Favorite activities?
Um, let's see. I like to read things where they can become the character and act out the character. Um, I like to act out the book. I like them to be able to take a page or a portion of the book and bring it to life. I think children really love doing that. When I taught kindergarteners, we did that pretty consistently, and they had things that they could use while they were acting out that story. Perhaps they could make a little bit of the costuming that goes with the characters, and that makes it fun for them. I also like to pull out what they like best about a book and give them the opportunity to illustrate it themselves and write about it and tell why that particular part of the story was his or her favorite part, and then give them the opportunity to add to the story or change it in some way.
In closing, what is the one key takeaway you learn about yourself as a teacher?
I think what I'm learning or have learned about myself as a teacher is not only am I teaching my students, but my students are teaching me. I believe that God orchestrates who comes to my classroom, and I believe that he does it for two reasons. I think he does it for the children and their families who are entrusted to my care. But I also believe that he does it for me because I believe that the students help me to grow and become a better person and develop in my character. And they also help me to be a better teacher as well. So I think it's twofold. And I'm learning that through my students, I am seeing myself and they are helping me to become of greater usefulness and service to not only them, but to members of my family and to my community and to people around the world. I think we have to really appreciate one another and realize that we can always learn something new. That matters, remaining teachable and understanding that a child can lead them.
You're never too old to learn. Never. So the day you die, you're never too old to learn. Okay. Do you have anything exciting coming up? I know you do. And how can our viewers contact you?
Thank you for asking. The next thing that I am writing is a children's book series for boys, and it is called The Adventures of Itty Bitty Billy Brown. And the book titles are Itty Bitty Billy Brown is Smart. That's the first one. Itty Bitty Billy Brown is Tough. Itty Bitty Billy Brown is Fast. Itty Bitty Billy Brown um, has character, and Itty Bitty Billy Brown is disciplined. So it's a 5-book series about a little boy named Itty Bitty Billy Brown and him being all of those things. It has a rhyming scheme, and again, it is for my boys. I've written 3 books, and the girls have been the ones who benefited most because the main characters have been girls. But this time, Billy Brown is the main character. He's a boy. So I'm excited about that. Illustrations are being made, and we are making efforts to get that published. I'm hoping this year, at least the first book, if not the entire series. So that is a work in progress, and I'm excited about sharing that with all of the children, but especially my boys.
Oh, you have to come back with that.
I
You
would
know,
love to. Thank you.
I know the parents are excited and the little boys will be excited. Now I'm trying to think that say it again, the bitty itty bitty
Adventures of Itty
the itty
Bitty
bitty
Billy Brown.
Billy Brown.
Yes,
Itty
ma'am.
bitty
He's an itty bitty little thing.
itty bitty Oh, he really small, huh? Oh my
Well,
word.
He's a little boy. He's tiny like that,
No,
but
I don't mean like, I'm
he's
not mean
just
like Tom
smaller.
Thumb.
Yes, not like Tom Thumb.
Well, Portia, thank you so much for your wonderful books. Okay, and love to have you back again.
Thank you so much, Jocelyn. God bless you and have a wonderful evening.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
For our viewers at home watching, if you like what you see, subscribe to the Jocelyn Moore Show. Want to be a guest on our show? Head over to our website, www.jmentertainment.info. On the homepage, click on About and follow directions to be a guest. If you have any questions about today's show or past or future shows, just click Contact on our website and submit a message. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, take care and keep watching.